Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel for more videos.
We think of it as pure, but according to the World Health Organization, the water we drink comes with an added extra. Tiny, often microscopic fragments of plastic, and no one knows whether our health is at risk.
Here we can just about see some very small specks, and we suspect that those are the microplastics.
Scientists at Cranfield University have studied drinking water in Britain and helped write the WHO report. While tap water is believed to contain between 0 and 10 plastic particles in every litre, bottled water can contain hundreds.
Bottled water is a little bit different because we're talking about containing water within a plastic container with a plastic cap. And there has been a number of studies that have looked at microplastics in bottled water, and it does seem to be that there are higher levels of microplastics in bottled water when we compare that to the limited number of studies that there are on tap water.
Around 350 million tonnes of plastic are produced each year. Microplastics are created by wear and tear, dust and fragments breaking off everything from car tyres to clothing and even paint. The fragments are found in our food, contaminate the air we breathe and are washed into the sea. They are everywhere. Imogen Napper studies microplastics, research supported by Sky Ocean Rescue.
Is how do you remove something that's that small?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
She says the World Health Organization's report underlines the need for action.
We really live in the plastic age, and there are benefits to it, but we really need to rein in our plastic use. And we don't need items like bananas wrapped in plastic when they already have a protective layer.
The big question now is what happens to microplastics inside the human body. The World Health Organization says the smallest particles are likely to be absorbed, and although the evidence so far suggests the health risks are likely to be minimal, scientists can't be sure, and the report calls for more research.
So this is our microplastic analyzer.
The Sky-sponsored boat turned the tide on plastic found particles as remote as the Southern Ocean while taking part in a round-the-world race. That microplastic is also in our drinking water isn't a surprise. The scientists are now scrambling to understand the implications.
Just like his mum, Manveer could one day need a heart transplant. With the waiting list getting longer and a chronic shortage of donor organs, that life-changing surgery may take a long time to happen. But he says he'd undergo anything as long as it keeps him alive, including living with a pig's heart.
It is freaky, but I wouldn't really go so much risk. Oh, this is a bit weird, that's not right. I'd go with more, okay, what's the quickest fix? What's going to get me better, the quickest? What's going to get me as healthy, quickest? What's going to give me the best quality of life that I can get?
40 years ago this week, Sir Terence English performed the first successful heart transplant in the UK. Today, he feels this procedure is almost ready for a huge development.
It's likely that they will do a pig kidney transplant into a human within the next year, probably. And if that works, then it'll be used in heart transplants, and that'll make a huge difference.
But when do you think that could come into place, if that works?
I think 2 or 3 years, perhaps.
Transplants are the only long-term treatment for patients with terminal heart failure, but the lack of donor numbers fueled research into xenotransplantation techniques, where humans would be given organs from animals. There are thousands of differences between pigs and humans, but there are also many similarities. The makeup of pigs' hearts and the way they function are similar to that of human hearts. In fact, porcine hearts are already used as models for developing treatments. The heart from the pig would be modified to hinder viruses that could infect humans through transplant. It can be extremely dangerous to patients. The body's natural immune response is to reject the organ. Questions will be raised about the ethics of humans living with pigs' hearts. There'll also be religious concerns for some patients. But despite the hurdles, this procedure even has the backing from the British Heart Foundation.
The patients who are waiting for a transplant are critically ill, And that if it's shown to work, they will jump. They will have no problem about that because they know it's the only option.
Thousands of people are in need of a heart transplant, and the demand for organs is on the rise. But these scientific developments show promise that pigs could save lives around the world.
1 in 5 of us is at risk of getting liver disease. The British Liver Trust wants to see universal screening introduced. They say the number of people dying from the disease is now 400 times higher than 40 years ago. Charlotte Lomas reports.
As a chef at a Michelin-starred restaurant, Alexis Gautier likes to taste each dish before it's served. That was until he found out that trying a little bit of everything was enough to severely damage his health. In October 2010, he was diagnosed with liver disease.
I thought there was something wrong, so I went to see my doctor, and she was very surprised to see that I had a liver problem. And I was very surprised too, because what she described was something that will happen to someone who eat really a lot or drink a lot, which wasn't my case. I mean, not in terms of drinking, but definitely in terms of eating. I didn't think I was overeating.
In many areas of healthcare, such as heart disease, death rates are going down. With liver disease, it's the opposite. Death rates have been soaring by 400% since 1970. It's now the 3rd most common cause of early death among working-age people. Health campaigners are calling for the government to act and introduce liver screening for everyone. That's why MP Luciana Berger put her liver to the test on camera. She joined a group of cross-party MPs lending support to the British Liver Trust.
So I've just had my liver tested and I'm delighted to find out that I do have a healthy liver count. Well, finding out about liver disease early actually saves the money to the National Health Service, because the longer you wait and the longer people take to be diagnosed, the higher the cost can be.
People with liver disease often don't show any symptoms. Medical experts say universal screening will lead to earlier detection.
Screening would make a huge difference. My youngest patient with liver cirrhosis, secondary to obesity, age 17. If she had been screened earlier because she was obese, this would have been picked up way before she became cirrhotic.
Many people associate liver disease with alcohol, but the most common cause is obesity and also hepatitis B. With better detection and raised awareness, experts hope patients will be able to get help before it's too late.